My name is Andrine Shufran, and I am the director of the Insect Adventure at Oklahoma State University, which is the only live bug petting zoo in all of Oklahoma, and there aren't that many of them in the entire United States. So an entomologist is a scientist who works with, studies, thinks about bugs, insects and all of their relatives. And it's a good thing because there are more insects on Earth than there are any other kind of animal. It's the largest group of animals on Earth, from the things that live in your eyelashes to the beetles that you eat when you eat wheat and bread and nuts, to big showy things from tropical walking sticks to tropical tarantulas, things that get pretty large. So it's a great field because there's something new to learn every day. At the Insect Adventure here, we keep about anywhere from 50 to 80 different species of arthropods, and arthropods are the entomological word for bug, anything that has an exoskeleton. So snails and earthworms are not bugs, but crab and shrimp are bugs, which can rock your world a little bit if you're a big seafood fan. Bugs perform a great number of what we call ecological services. And that means they do things for us in the environment that if we had to do it, we would never be able to, really. So they're doing things without getting paid. They're the janitors of the world. So bugs eat all the dead trees, all the dead leaves, all the dead branches, all of that, the termites, unfortunately. They eat all the wood, but that's their original design, is to decompose all of the wood. You've got things like flies and beetles that eat all of the dead animals. And if you try to imagine all the cats and the bats and the rats and the elephants and the birds and everything that dies every single day, and it just stayed there. And we just never stop to think about it, how important it is. Decomposition is putting nutrients back into the soil, and that's very important. One of the very important things that's a kind of a new movement in entomology as well as other science is citizen science projects. And it's just what it sounds like, but a lot of people are intimidated by who's a citizen, what's a citizen, I'm not a scientist. So a citizen science project is a research project, a professional research project, maybe a graduate student or a professor at a university. They need information on a very big scale for one of their experiments, and it'd be impossible to feasibly, financially travel all over the United States or perhaps all over the world trying to find out about one or two types of insects or types of animals or types of plants that are out there that they need for their research. And so instead, we have citizen scientists, just normal, average, everyday people, adults and children. Anybody's a citizen. A citizen is going to go out and do a few very simple things that are spelled out at the Science Project website, and you will take the information as a citizen scientist that you discover from your area and be able to give it back to the researcher so that they have a huge basis for when they do their statistics and their information and that sort of thing. Instead of doing a small project which only has limited application to that area, they can test the whole country and see where things have disappeared, where new things are. And there usually isn't any payment involved, but it's a great educational opportunity for a parent or a teacher to kind of introduce the idea of going out and collecting data and doing research and writing it down and making good observations. And so citizen science has become a great wave in all of science, geology and meteorology and any science you could think of, for people as a hobby to add to the scientific knowledge that's out there so that people can do better research, broader research on a particular topic. Here at OSU, we have 2 citizen science projects that we have available on the Insect Adventure website. One is super cool. It's the American Burying Beetle Project. Talks all about how to trap burying beetles and how to tell different species apart. It's got the coloring activity that goes along with it and some charts and that sort of thing, because this animal is an endangered insect, very few of those. And this one has a very important place in the environment. So if kids are out and they're turning things over and putting out traps and finding all sorts of things, there's even a bigger place to find out about all sorts of citizen science projects in all sorts of scientific fields, and that is the virtual Citizen Science Expo. It's a virtual place, it's not an actual expo to go visit, but there's all sorts of different topics for different interests, not just insects, though insects are of course the most important, but there are lots of other wonderful sciences that have projects that need citizens involved to be able to get their research accomplished. And the virtual Citizen Science Expo is the place to check it out.